Hey everybody, welcome back to the Vitalyst Spark. I'm your host, John Ford, and today, after a long hiatus, the Minisode returns. What the heck is a Minisode, you ask? It's a quick-hitting, power-packed episode where we do our darndest to inform you on 5 topics in just 15 minutes. That's right, 5 in 15. In less than the time of your average daily commute. And today, we're spanning everything from a virus to a census. So let's get to it, starting with, you guessed it, the coronavirus. It's at the top of every newscast. It has sent financial markets into a tizzy. It prompted the Chinese government to quarantine whole cities. Tempe even became one of the first U.S. confirmed case locations. It's coronavirus. News outlets may be continuously reporting about COVID-19, as it is now known, but at least 2 highly dedicated and very experienced public health officials are offering 2 words of advice. Don't panic. These 2 people are Will Humble, former director of the Arizona Department of Health Services, and Dr. Bob England, former director of the Maricopa County Department of Public Health and current interim director of the Pima County Department of Public Health. Their February 25th Arizona Republic editorial, see the link in the show notes, is worth your time. Here are a few takeaways. 1. COVID-19 is more contagious than the reported number of cases would indicate. 2. That's not good, because most actions to prevent spread are likely to eventually fail. 3. It also means that COVID-19 is less lethal than current reports imply. What looks like a 2% mortality rate drops to 0.04%. That puts it right in the range of the flu. They remind us that COVID-19 currently looks similar to the 2009 H1N1 pandemic. Back then, U.S. Centers for Disease Control guidance to England and Humble in their respective roles as heads of county and state health agencies was to close schools. In their words, they decided to err on a different side of caution. Believing that economic and social disruption would do more harm than good, Humble and England pushed back and reopened all schools during the first week of the pandemic, which proved to be the right choice. England and Humble urge the same careful consideration today. They also give us much-needed perspective. How things play out from here is anybody's guess, but there's one thing everyone can agree on. Wash your hands. Seriously. For 20 seconds. Really. You can even do it while listening to this podcast. That'll do it for item 1. Let's move on to item number 2. A tip of the hat to the Maricopa County Food System Coalition on their 5-year anniversary. Mark your calendars. On the morning of March 24, you'll have your chance to meet Marco. Marco is the nickname of the Maricopa County Food Systems Coalition. Not only is this volunteer-driven group celebrating 5 years together, they also are sharing a series of reports and analyses, compelling first-hand stories, and opportunities to network with just about everyone in Maricopa County who is focused on robust, local, healthy foods. Even if you have already met Marco before, this year will be worth your return. You can learn all about and get copies of Marco's landmark, first ever of its kind food assessment, a project made possible by the Gila River Indian community. Big-time local food systems experts will be on hand that day, as will additional reports on public policies and practices and community food networks in Arizona. Exhibitors will also be there, showcasing exciting projects and opportunities, and you might even go home with a unique and tasty raffle prize. It all takes place on March 24th from 9 a.m. to 11:30 at Mesa Community College. Check the show notes for a link to register, and we'll see you at the 2020 5th Anniversary Meet Marco event. Marco isn't the only one throwing a party at the end of March either, which brings us to a shout-out for Charting Health Equity, the 7th Annual Arizona Healthy Communities Conference. On March 26th, the largest continuously running Healthy Communities Conference in the Southwest U.S. returns, thanks to the Arizona Partnership for Healthy Communities. Charting Health Equity is the main theme, and the conference is going to be taking on a bit of a high-wire act this year, focusing on the intersection of climate change, social determinants of health, and the critical link that they both have with health equity. A dynamic day will be on display with compelling keynote speakers, community panels, and stories from the front lines of cross-sector collaboration. Not the least of the highlights will be dedicated time to hear firsthand from Jamie Snyder, Director of Access, Arizona's Medicaid agency. She will share the latest information, resources, and insights related to the Access Whole Person Care Initiative, which is shaping up to be a landmark opportunity for addressing the social determinants of health. And there's much more to see, learn, and do that day, which is why you need to check out the show notes right now for your link to register for the conference today so that we can see you at Desert Willow Conference Center for a great day on March 26. And just like that, we are on to the last two items, starting with a tip of the hat to Catherine Reagor from the Arizona Republic. If you've been around Vitalyst Health Foundation for the past 5 years, you'd already be familiar with the refrain that housing is health. But we are far from the only ones thinking that. Arizona's court system, Urban Land Institute, major health insurance companies, hospitals, and law enforcement agencies get it too. So does Catherine Reagor. We're tipping our hat to this hardworking Arizona Republic reporter for her continuous coverage of Arizona's growing housing affordability challenges, something many would call a crisis. If you're not up on any of this, then check out these articles. Her in-depth article, Phoenix has long been the West's most affordable city, that might change, is subtitled Squeezed Out. It features an infographic showing that we're no longer so great when it comes to housing affordability. More importantly, Catherine tells the personal stories of people trying and struggling to find their way in the valley in the face of runaway rent increases. It finds that the gap between what Phoenicians earn and what they pay for housing is growing. In part 2 of Squeezed Out, Reagor reports that Arizona needs at least 100,000 more affordable homes right now, not sometime in the future when people might move here. Right now. She tells us more stories of real people trying to figure things out. And the story features quotes from a number of experts, including Vitalyst's own C.J. Eisenbarth-Hager. And on February 23rd, Catherine provided much-needed context for proposed federal housing cuts. Reagor put a human face on the fact that the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, has cuts planned that are something that Arizonans cannot afford. Housing truly is health. The cascade of physiological and behavioral challenges that come from lacking stable shelter is too long to list here. So check the links in the show notes. Read Catherine's insightful reporting. Then don't hesitate to join the growing chorus of voices working on our growing affordable housing challenges. We're almost out of time for this episode, but we've still got time to make things count. Or should we say make you count? Because it's time to talk about Census 2020. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Census 2020 starts now, and responding is safe, easy, and important. A correct, complete count of everyone residing in Arizona is crucial because it is the basis of a ton of decisions that determine whether or not Arizona has the resources it needs to support our present and our future together. We need to ensure that Arizona can be up to the job of taking care of itself. Be counted, and be sure the people you know get counted too. There are 3 key ways that you can make that happen: online, by phone, and by mail. Between March 12th and March 20th, households will get official Census Bureau mail with detailed information on how to be counted. Then April 1 isn't just April Fool's this year, it's also Census Day, the day by which all households will have received a mailing, and the day that you respond online, by mail, or by phone with where you currently reside as of April 1, 2020. Got more questions about exactly how to do all this? Well, check out the YouTube video titled What's the Census that we have linked in the show notes. Then, watch the 6-minute step-by-step video that shows you exactly what to expect and how to handle it. And then, go get counted. Let's shape Arizona's future together. Visit azcensus2020.gov to learn more and respond. That's azcensus2020.gov. That's it for today's Minisode. Looks like we did it. 5 items within 15 minutes. Our check-in on the coronavirus featured great perspective from 2 Arizona public health experts. You're fired up and ready to meet Marco on March 24. Plus, you're intrigued and excited to chart health equity at the 7th Annual Healthy Communities Conference on March 26. You've got some reading to do, using the show links to check out the excellent housing reporting from the Arizona Republic's Catherine Reagor. And our Census 2020 segment puts you on the case to make sure you, your friends, your acquaintances, and frankly anyone you happen to chat up, get on their mail, online, and or on the phone to get counted. Please help us make the most of this independent media effort by sharing our podcast with colleagues, friends, and family. The dialogue around how to create healthier communities belongs at the family dinner table as much as it does in your place of business, in municipal and town halls, and in the domains of healthcare and public health. But that dialogue doesn't happen unless we share what's going on and ways we can make things better. That's what the 5 items of this minisode are all about. Thank you for being our listeners. We've got lots of episodes behind us and many more to come, so let's keep the conversation growing. Share this episode far and wide. Subscribe to the Vitalyst Spark podcast and get notified as new episodes are released. Encourage others to come along for the ride with you. In the world of podcasts, your rating matters too, so take a moment to give us 5 stars on iTunes, Google Play Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also give us your input the old-fashioned way. Email your future episode ideas, minisode content suggestions, and more. Your corrections, complaints, and compliments are all welcomed by emailing us at feedback@vitalysthealth.org. Finally, remember this. With great responsibility comes great power. We'll see you back on the road to well-being soon.